Well, good morning and welcome to Peace to You from Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada, Colorado. And this is the Peace to You crew. And this is our podcast. And today we get to talk about an exciting time here at Peace that we had here just in the past week. And that's our Vacation Bible School. And every year it just seems to be getting better. And this year was just phenomenal. We had some great teachers and we had some activities of the kids. I just talked to them over the weekend, and some are just so excited, and they can't wait until next year. But Vacation Bible School is a very popular one here in the Denver metro area, and this year I think was one of the leading times, one of the best times that we've had. I know that I've had in a long time, especially when we made Sundays with the products falling from the roof. That was interesting. But anyway, but we had some great activities, and the kids did a lot of work, and it goes fast.
It goes fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pastor Guy played a very important part. And usually it's a really, really hot time out there in our little football field that we have.
Yeah.
You played a lot of games out there, and the kids turned on.
I've led games the last few years, and I probably never led games at VBS. I used to lead VBS when I was a DCE, and it's always just a ton of work, and it's so much fun and so rewarding. And I've always said to people who volunteer is everyone should look forward to VBS. It's exciting, and then you also should be happy when it comes to an end because you're exhausted.
That's right.
Yeah, you just throw it all out there, and really, this year it was neat to watch. We have a new children's director of children's ministry, Amy Bomaretto. And so she came in, she's a lifelong member, had been to a lot of VBSs, helped and served on VBSs. But I think it was her first time leading one.
First time leading, yeah.
And so she took the opportunity to just kind of revision some things. Mm-hmm. And man, they really were good. Like the last few years, we'd have people lined up all the way out the street to register. She just developed a new way of doing that, or found a different way to do that, in which they registered in their rooms. So that went super smooth, and parents liked that a lot. Mm-hmm. And then she recruited people and let them do their thing. So Adrian Belinsky led the music,
That's great.
And she was like, "Nah, I don't want to do this," and she came up with all of her own stuff, and man, that was so cool what we got to see. It was cool on Sunday. You can see that on our live stream. But imagine that same thing that happened on Sunday if you watch that, where there's all the children from VBS up front, but all 150, 160 kids up there singing praise to God and playing instruments and just dancing. And it was on the last day before everybody left. So their parents got to see it, and it was just so cool. And all that came from her creativity and Amy's willingness to allow people to just be creative.
Exactly.
And you kind of saw that all through VBS.
Oh, yeah. And the kids were, I just can't say enough about these kids because they were so disciplined, and they were still having a lot of fun with this. And they were going from event to event, and it was great because I know that a lot of them went back and told mom and dad that, hey, we want to go back there again. Yeah. And just introducing some of these kids, really don't have that relationship in their family with Jesus, and they don't go to church, as often as they should, really, and especially at their age and learning. But so many of them have some, great questions. But it's looking at Jesus from a different approach, really, because you're in community, which you've talked about before, about the importance of community, and they were in the community of children. And they're saying, well, some of these kids, I watched them because they're watching each other. And we had the believers, the children that are here every week that kind of became, that leader, and in their group. And the kids just, in a community of children, they loved it. They just had a great time. And the music especially, it reminded me of, we saw a show down at the Buell Theater called Stomp. Yeah. And these guys were beating on the pen. And I loved it. Yeah.
The kids are dancing and singing, and it was cool, and they were into it. They were a little more hesitant on Sunday, which you can't blame them, because they're sitting there staring at 300 people going, So, but it was neat to see. It was really neat to see as many families as we had. That's different. That's different than the other two summers I've been here. The number of families that came and attended with their kids. I think they were invited to come and be a part of the service and everything. So that was kind of cool to see. And as cool as VBS is, and there's a long storied tradition here. One of the things that's always kind of been as I understand it, has always been kind of a wondering from our staff is how much impact are we having beyond just that day? Because, the truth of VBS in the Denver culture, too, is that people use it as an activity for their children in the summer. So there is a child care component to it, too.
There is.
But that doesn't lessen any of the things that's happening. It's just if your goal is to reach the whole family, is this really being an impact like we want it to? So I saw some big strides in kind of bridging that gap with families this time. But I'd be interested in your feedback on this. One of the things that I've done in the past and that I've been talking with Amy and Lauren about is the idea of a family VBS, which is what we did at my last church. At my last church, we couldn't have done both if we wanted to.
Right.
So we had a very small, like 20 to 30 kids VBS.
Sure.
And very traditional. And so for us, it was a no-brainer. And it went from small to VBS of about 300 to 400 people in midweek. And so it was Sunday through Thursday. You would come at 5:30. There'd be a meal provided for your family. The kids would go have VBS. The adults would stay and have some sort of adult study, typically taught by me. And then they would all get together for some sort of family activity. So like a dance. We did a sock hop dance, and
that's cool.
The adults would help set that up for the kids in something. It was really kind of simple. And it was just, we had less kids on that approach. Mm-hmm. Well, we probably had the same amount of kids. We probably had 40, 50 kids more. But we had all told with all the adults and all the generations a lot. And so we've been talking about doing that here, and I'd be interested, we wouldn't do that in place of our traditional VBS. We would do this in addition, like end of July, beginning of August or something. Mm-hmm. We'd have a week of family VBS.
Well, and we have a family event here with our picnic, with the community picnic, and it's very successful. And we have a lot of parents and grandparents and with the kids, and I even saw parents out in the bouncy castles, and things like that. So those events are very popular.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love that idea.
But then we'd be spending time with the parents too, because you on this approach you can't drop your kids off and leave. Like it is for your family, and there's family activities and there's whatever. So we've been talking about that. It's a lot of work to pull off both of them, but it might be worth it, at least trying it out. It worked in a small town really well. I'd be interested to see how it works here.
Yeah, so would I. And when I've talked to a lot of kids, they love it when their parents are there. Mm-hmm. I noticed that when parents were picking up their children here in the past week, sometimes the parents would go in and actually sit there and start working with some of the crafts and things like that. And then looking at the literature and things like that. Well, this is what you learned today. Yeah. And the parents are in it. They're into it.
I want to encourage that for sure, because that is, I mean, as awesome as the things that happen here at Peace are and the work that we do together in His name, the faith is taught by the family. It is taught in the family by the parents, whether they know they're doing it or not. I mean, that is by God's design. And so how do we tap into that? How do we equip parents? How do we become that church that's there, not just for your children, but for your whole family? Those are the questions that are ahead of us. And so the good news is we have an awesome VBS, and we truly do. It's next level. I mean, it's very cool, and I would encourage you strongly to have your kids come be a part of it, or really come help. I mean, we're only limited. We have a huge sanctuary in a large building. We're only limited by the number of kids we can bring, by how many adults we have helping.
Volunteers mean everything.
Yeah,
they did a great job this year.
Yeah, and we had to cap it around 160 this year based on the volunteers we had. I mean, we could literally have a VBS of 300 to 400 kids. I mean, maybe we could, if we could find that many, but we could host that many if we had enough volunteers to care for them. So, no more waiting lists, no more, that we could definitely care for all the people. But
Well, like Pastor said, there's a lot of things going on here at Peace, and we've got things going on coming up this summer. I believe we've been talking about a movie night out in the field, and then with our family picnic that's coming up. And family picnic is also a car show, and a lot of other things that are happening. So,
Oh yeah, and we have I don't know when this is going to play, but we have the 250th celebration of America.
Of America. That's
America.
right.
And so that's coming up, and on July 5th, we're going to be inviting everyone to join us for a 10 o'clock worship
10
service,
o'clock, yep.
one service all together. We give thanks to God for this country He's provided for us, and then we'll be having Red Patriot Pops.
Yeah, Patriot Pops.
Yeah, and
my
invite
favorite.
you to dress up. I think if you would like to volunteer to be Uncle Sam or what's Lady Liberty?
Lady Liberty. Yeah.
Or whatever else. We're trying to figure out all the different ways we could have people dressed up and handing out Patriot
Sure.
Pops. And
Oh, yeah.
we're just going to do a small celebration, a modest celebration here of all that the Lord has provided for us.
Oh, yeah, and what he's done in the last 250 years in this wonderful country. Can't
Yeah.
say enough.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a lot of attention paid to this.
No.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's
like-
it's huge.
I don't know why that is, but that's probably another podcast. But we'll be for sure doing that here on July 5th. So
Very good. Well, come and join us. That's the bottom line. Come and join us here at Peace Lutheran Church. A lot of things going on. And if you don't have a church home, or if you have a church home, you'd just like to join us and see what's going on, we'd love to have you here. And we're at 57th and Field in Arvada. And we have our early service, our church service at 8 o'clock. Except for July the 5th, we have only one service at 10, but normally 8 o'clock, and then Bible study at 9:15, and then our late service is at 10:30. And we'd love to have you here. We'd love to have you come up and introduce yourself to Pastor Guy or myself or Pastor Tim, and just be a part of this. I think you'd really enjoy it. So anyway, with that, blessings on your week, and we hope to see you here.
amen. Peace be with you.
Thank you for joining us for Peace to You at Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada, Colorado. If you have no church home, we'd be delighted for you to join us at 5675 Field Street in Arvada. Services are at 8 and 10:30 a.m., with Bible classes for all ages at 9:15 a.m. You can easily access our services online on our YouTube channel, Peace Arvada at youtube.com, or wherever podcasts are found. Coming this January, tune in to the new video podcast at Peace to You on youtube.com, or listen wherever podcasts are found. Now, from the entire broadcast team at Peace Lutheran in Arvada, I'm Reuben Hollenbeck, and may the peace of our Lord be with you now and always.